Imagine all the people living for today.
He doesn't do things halfway. He thinks of something, he dreams it, then does it.
Lewis always has so many ideas, and he thinks every one of them are good ideas. Usually they are really good ideas, but he never second-guesses himself.
He didn't want a documentary made about him, and it ended up being a struggle to make one about him. We're doing it anyway. So we're in Boston, and we won a nominee in Boston. We went to breakfast with this girl, Colleen Sullivan, and she says, I know this whole family that all of them are radiant. And we don't really do families, like a whole family. So she's like, well, you should do one on Lewis Randa, the dad. They invite us to go to their home and the school for disabilities that Lewis founded.
Abbey! Hey! How are you?
You guys want to see where we're going to put you guys?
Sure.
You guys want to be right in here. Not a big enough room for you guys?
It's perfect.
Right.
That's great, thank you.
Right.
Did you pick that out for us?
No, Lewis did.
The whole entire time that we're there, he's trying to have us make a documentary about somebody else. You should interview this person. Let's go here and you can interview them. For the life of us, we cannot get this man on camera. Anytime he sees the camera on him, he disappears or escapes somehow.
Growing up with Lewis as your dad is completely, outrageous. He's the most insane man. There's no one like Lewis Randa.
He's not seeking accolades, he's not seeking recognition.
He's always himself. There's no pretense, no ego.
He empowers us to be peacemakers and nonviolent. I'm not even making this up. Vietnam was still going on, and he was gonna go there, but he decided to start this instead of going there.
He was drafted into Vietnam. He went to boot camp, and within being in there realized that he couldn't kill anyone.
Once I was handed an M16 and began shooting into human silhouettes, I quickly realized that that was something I had no intention of doing.
He went on a hunger strike until he was so frail and unhealthy that he was honorably discharged, and his alternate service was starting the Life Experience School for kids with disabilities.
I love it here. I love it this much. And that's it.
These folks here are some of the greatest peacemakers because in their presence you have to be more considerate, more patient, more tolerant, more loving. I can't think of stronger qualifications to a peacemaker as bringing out that from other people.
Given all my dad's passions, he's got a million. Vegetarianism, pacifism, and serving disabled people. With the Life Experience School, he brought in all these ideals with the students and with the families.
The time that I met him, I was in a bubble, and I was inspired to look outside of myself and to see the big picture.
The fact that he found someone like my mom who was just do whatever you want. Oh, you want to push a stone 1,000 miles to Washington, D.C.?
Stonewalk was one of those things where when he told me and my brother and sister and my mom that he wanted to do it, it was you're crazy. He had this stone commission, this tall, that said, unknown civilians killed in war. It was this thick, a couple tons.
There needs to be something for the 90% of the people who are killed in warfare. There are no memorials that acknowledge that fact. We thought, well, we'll create one ourselves.
We got this group of people to push this monument across the country, all eyes on us, but every single day the focus was just on the families of these civilians killed in war.
This is a difficult moment, but it is nothing compared to what millions of families go through when armies advance, bombs are dropped, and news arrives that a loved one is dead.
They wanted Arlington National Cemetery. More than likely, they wouldn't accept it, and they didn't.
I think so many people would just completely lose hope. To call something like that loss of frustration is a severe understatement. But Lewis just was okay, well, on to the next. Next year we're going from Dublin to Belfast, and the year after that we're going to push it from Coventry to Liverpool. Lewis is just the embodiment of you just got to roll with the punches. You have to keep the dream alive.
Probably one of the most profound things I learned from Lewis. He was talking about crooked stuff.
Crooked stuff is when things seem to have gone terribly, terribly wrong, and then when it all plays out, it was the one thing that made everything work out. By being his son, I've got to meet Mother Teresa, Muhammad Ali, Maya Angelou, Sting.
Dr. Paramaldas said, "You must go visit my friend Mother Teresa." And I spent time with Mother and told her about the Life Experience School and what we were doing with the prayers, and she said, "I will come back and visit you."
The movement itself is the first of its kind. There's nothing like the Peace Abbey.
The Peace Abbey bumper stickers were "Remember to be kind." That's really all Peace Abbey was just a tangible reminder in the world to be kind to each other.
I didn't want to simply write a book, seek elected position to bring about social change. I wanted to create something that gave an idea form. You can talk about pacifism, nonviolence, conscientious objection. Where do you go that could slam dunk that concept more fully than walk those walls and read those plaques?
I've honestly never really seen my dad argue with somebody. The way he speaks about something, it's about love and deep in his heart versus arguments are more defensive. And I feel like he doesn't really get very defensive.
When people go, I'm not a pacifist. Well, you are more than likely part of a pacifist unit called your family. And all we're suggesting is that if it works and the smallest unit called our family, why not strive to make all of the circles in which you're part pacifists? Here's to all of our efforts to make the world a better place.
He has such a pure heart. He has such vision. And it's never about him, it's about everybody else and about the world.
That label says it for me. It says, I believe in the power of love more than the power of anything else.
I would say probably the one disappointment for him was that the Peace Abbey wasn't able to continue in the way that he had this vision for it.
Why did the Peace Abbey go under? Because we embraced all of them equally, and as a result, none of them would give us anything because they claimed to have the truth. And we know no religion could begin to hold the truth of God. All of them together give you a better indication of how to live your life than just one of them.
Some men see things as they are and say why. I dream things that never were and say why not.
He always questions. Most of us can kind of say, because it happens, it does, there's nothing I can do about it. He never thinks that there's nothing he can do about it.
When some civil rights movement comes up, we're on it. We'll do whatever we think is right to do.
For Cordy, he gets it on a deeper level than most people. So he'll identify areas where he wants to change the world. And it gets me in a lot of trouble. I've been arrested a few times. People said, why are you doing this? I said, I'm just accompanying him. He's the one that wants to do this.
You heard about Cordy, right? He gets arrested with them, right? So they go before the judge and he says, we need to spend more money helping people, not killing people. That was Cordy's exact words.
We are successful so infrequently that we come across at times as harmless because so many of these things don't come true. But they don't come true in physical time-space, but they come true in my mind. And that's all that matters.
That's the thing that I think people are drawn to. He's just like a little boy who's never grown up. He hasn't lost that sense of wonder, and he hasn't ever stopped asking questions.
I come to work and I see these folks here, and I'm amazed they get up in the morning. They've come to terms with their reflection. They believe that every day is a good day. In their presence, I just can't lose heart. When I'm with them, whatever uncertainty, whatever insecurity that I might have dissipates immediately.
I came here and a door opened. These people are nice. Lewis is nice, and that's how it should be.
I thought he just felt uncomfortable in the camera's eye, but I slowly realized as we got to know him more over time that he's not seeking any recognition at all for what he does in life. He doesn't have some egoic structure that makes him feel like he needs attention. Nothing is ever about him.
I discovered the power of vulnerability. You don't have to have a political science degree, walk with Dr. King, you don't have to fast to get out of the military. You just have to bring out the best in others, and that's best done through your vulnerability, not your strength.
What's your guys' relationship like?
Very best friend.
Best friends, that's for sure.
Best friend I ever have.